guys, Nick here. You're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com, a weekly live show about video games. We're proud to say that we've been at this since 2008 and have remained 100% independent since day one, and that means you'll never have to hear a sponsored ad on this show. So if you want to support what we do, all we ask is that you consider making our silly little show part of your weekly rotation. You can tune in when we record these episodes live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out. If that's not your thing, though, you can also subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast service, join our community Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, send us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. And that's it for shameless self-promotion. Time to talk about the latest and greatest in the world of video games. Let's get started. All right, hey everyone, welcome to episode 847? Are we in the 40s?
877.
Oh my god! I was so off. 877 of 4Player Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined tonight by Brad Simons.
Hello.
Crispy.
Hello.
God, and Chris Davis.
I have energy tonight. Good evening.
Finally, somebody.
What? What?
I'm just
screaming about Gundam.
Yeah, that is true. We just had a very long trailer talk. I mean, here's the fact of the matter, guys. Tonight's show is going to be very largely focused on what's going on in Fantasy Critic and what's been happening over the past week with Summer Game Fest and the Nintendo Direct and all that stuff. So we're just going to kind of talk through all this stuff. Before we get into all the announcements and shit, Brad, care to give us an update on? We don't start with many Fantasy Critic updates, but somebody just bid on like 1,000 games.
Well, yeah. Let me pull that up now. So a lot happened, right, in the world of video games and announcements,
Yes.
and it makes sense for this to be.
There's always a surge right after these things.
It makes sense that there's a busy week, but I definitely think there's some smoke. So, like, you can bid on more games than you have like slots, right? And you prioritize them, and so you're obviously not going to get them all. But sometimes when someone like really wants a game, they'll throw out a bunch of smoke so they can get Danganronpa or whatever, or Control or Resonant, or not Control. What's the fucking Resonance? A Plague Tale Legacy. So there are like 10 bids, I think 9 or 10. I'll read them off real quick. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, Beast of Reincarnation, which I think might be Nolan.
I mean, that would be my
Freak?
first guess. It's Game
I don't
Freak,
know.
so.
Danganronpa 2x2, which should not be underestimated, because that might be Ed though. I don't know. That's a remake of Danganronpa 2, but there's also
Was
like
that at
there's like a whole
Summer
other
Game
game
Fest?
in there. There's like a whole other game in there. No, this has been a known quantity.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that's like out of place, right? Like everything else has like been kind of talked about heavily this year. That one, I don't know. Somebody wants that one. Final Fantasy Resonance, which we'll talk a little bit about today. Gears of War E-Day, Phantom Blade Zero, which is a promising looking game. The Rayman Legends remake, Resonance, A Plague Tale's Legacy, and Rhythm Heaven Groove. Which
That's a lot of
strong games there, honestly. But
A lot.
I mean, this year, this always happens, right? Like coming into Summer Game Fest, I was like, what is even coming out for the rest of the year? I mean, there's things that have been heavily rumored, things we've talked about, but like the actual like lineup was everything was like getting stopped in like September because nobody wanted to get too close to GTA, and October was fairly fair kind of, and now it's just as packed as September. It's getting crazy out there. And there's been some major announcements from Nintendo, which we'll also talk about later in this episode. But yeah, honestly, there's a few things that I was kind of shocked to not see in the bids, but then I realized that some of them were actually picked up at the beginning of the year because they were unannounced, and some people made took some chances and picked up like unannounced Ocarina of Time remake. So congratulations on that, Brad.
that's what we're doing, man. Swinging away. We're swinging away over here.
Yeah,
unannounced, baby.
So yeah, this is just
steroids era.
Lots of crazy shit. So we'll have to wait until Saturday to see who. I mean, there's probably going to be
Like Mark McGuire. I'm like Mark McGuire.
Just rope and piss missiles at 400 yards.
Yeah.
what?
I have no
Y'all wouldn't
idea.
even give me Mark McGuire. I'm definitely a Barry Bonds. Huh?
Oh, shut the fuck up. Barry Bonds, then. Fuck you.
No one likes Barry Bonds.
The greatest power. Yeah, but he is still like, has like 4 of the 5 most. Like,
He was
home
on
runs
the
in a
juice,
season.
though. He was on the juice.
I mean, I don't know if you can be on that much juice. That's crazy.
I mean, he was like, in his early days, he was like, not like that.
John Boyes, the sports writer, did a video about Barry Bonds where he did this whole thought experiment where he recalculated Barry Bonds' entire record under the stipulation that he didn't have a bat. So like he never swings at a pitch, right? People were
because he
so
gets
afraid
walked.
of Barry Bonds that they walked him all the time.
Yeah.
So he goes back and he does this thought experiment where he's like, how would Barry Bonds have performed without a bat? His batting average went up. And like it was also
He gets on base.
batting. It was
Gets
a
on
record
base.
adding. It was a record batting average, and it was like 0.1 higher than his personal record batting average. It was crazy. It's fucking nuts. Baseball's a stupid game. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
He gets on base. Gets on base.
Gets on base
because people are too afraid to play the game against him. Like,
Yeah. Man, I just saw like a really spicy article. But you were transitioning, Nick, or you were setting up, Nick.
Well, not really. I mean, I'm not.
Can I?
anywhere specific.
I just saw like a really cool article, and I would love to rattle off a list of games real quick. This is on
Sure.
PC Gamer. It's
I love
18
lists.
embargoes. 18 embargoes from Summer Game Fest just lifted. So let's rank everything I saw in LA. These are like hands-on. PC Gamer or Morgan Park. He ranked all of his 18 games that he saw at SGF.
Yeah,
like
give me a
not
list.
trailers. So this is in order from 18 to 1.
From worst to best or best to worst?
Yeah, worst to best. Nekome
Worst
Nazi Hunter. I don't even know what that is, but that was number 18. Number 17, Minecraft Dungeons 2. Number 16, Crimson Moon. I don't even really know what that is. Number 15, Grave Seasons. That's like one of those spooky Stardew likes. Number 14, this was hands off, but he saw a presentation behind closed doors, Resident Evil Veronica at 14, which is interesting. Number 13, Join Us. I don't even know what that is. Number 12,
It's a cult
Aliens
game.
Fireteam Elite 2. Number 11,
crazy. The fact that game is this high on the list maybe is kind of surprising.
Well,
but-
no. Well, I mean, this was the stuff that they had on the floor to like play / see. 11, Avatar Legends, the fighting game, which I've heard very good things about. Number 10, Gears of War E-Day, which was a presentation. Number 9, Bag Magpie. That's the
Untitled Goose Game wannabe.
Untitled Goose Game clone. That was the Xbox Showcase.
The
Number
game
8,
that Chris Davis claims to not be interested in.
Number 8, The Wolf Among Us 2. Number 7, Spyro: A Realm Beyond, which apparently they showed that.
Whoa!
Game.
Whoa! There's a new Spyro game that I missed.
Heck.
Yes.
When did this get announced?
He was playing Cyclops all weekend and at the Xbox show, dude. Number 6, Blood Message, which is a game I heard some hype about from elsewhere that I was hands-on. Number 5 is Stupid Never Dies, which is also hands-on. That's the one that looks like a Suda game, kind of. Number 4 is Stranger Than Heaven. Praising the limb-based combat quite a lot, which I heard Jeff Gershman also like praising. Apparently, like the new combat system is hype. Number 3 is Fable. Number 2 is Onimusha Way of the Sword, which was a new hands-on.
Nice.
And number 1,
Star Trek.
I wanted to bring this up because
Shadow
the number
Frontier.
1 is so hype, but only for me.
Gundam?
N Plus Infinite times 2.
What?
N Plus Infinite times 2.
God,
I love how they
remember-
announced that too. How they
A
announced
new
it.
N Plus game got announced. It's It's a perfect video game. It's a perfect video game.
Yeah, I know. I remember Brad wouldn't shut up about it.
Dude.
That game
I mean,
is
It was so funny because they announced it during Day of the Devs, and they had the developers come out and they were talking. It's just this couple, and the developer announced, "Hey, my name is we worked on N Plus and N Plus Plus and da 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 da, and we're back on our bullshit. This is N Plus Plus Infinity times 2."
That's what the game is called?
It looks really cool.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
All right, let's
those two
roll.
games were pretty great, so that doesn't necessarily that checks out.
Yeah.
Cool list. Yeah, dude. So last week we talked about the state of play because at the time that was kind of the only major event that had happened, and there was a lot of stuff there. But since then, obviously, we had the actual Summer Game Fest presentation. We had the Nintendo Direct. Not to mention just all the different like indie dev showcases and PC gamer showcases and stuff. So we'll talk about some of that stuff before. But before we get to that, I do just want to take a minute. None of us have been. We've all been kind of playing stuff that we've already kind of talked about on the show. But I do want to check in with everybody and just kind of see if there's anything you want to add to it or
We
update.
got to talk about Mina. We don't care about these other people. We got to talk about Mina, Nick. This is why we're podcasting tonight, right?
Are you talking about me, specifically about what I messaged you about earlier?
Look.
I'm having some struggles.
Nick was crashing out a little bit about the difficulty of Mina.
Dude, I was like raging in my office at work today. I was like, I got to get off my bullshit.
Can I ask how far you are? Have you taken down any towers?
I don't even have a trinket yet.
Okay. So
I don't even know what trinkets are.
What are you doing? Where are you at? So it's like
I'm trying to go to the first. So I got to the point where it's like, okay, here's this like fountain that has all these like it points you to all the different dungeons, right, in the different corners of the world or whatever. So I'm like, I'm just gonna pick one and go that direction, see if I can find it. And I headed east towards the crypt.
East is good. Yeah, crypt. Yeah. So that is the first like dungeon they suggest you go to per the newspaper.
Good. I haven't gotten to it yet. And I tell you what, I haven't gotten to it yet because I can't go 5 feet in this game without taking hits from random shit because I don't feel like oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna get so much bullshit for this.
No.
Like I don't know how to avoid shit. Like I keep getting knocked into holes. I keep getting like taking like I'm trying to like move out of the way, but it's not responsive enough. It's not fast enough, so I just end up taking a hit.
Are you jumping?
How much exploration did you do of the main town and whatnot, or did you?
I mean, I wandered all over it. I went into all the buildings. I don't even have enough bones to buy shit because I keep dying and losing all my bones.
That's crazy because I don't think I've ever lost my bones once in this game.
Fuck you, Brad.
No, but like I want to be clear. Like I have died, but you get multiple sparks. Like you only have one spark, right?
I only have one spark, and I don't know how that works. Because like sometimes it says die again, you lose all your bones, and sometimes it doesn't say that at all.
It's like a corpse run, right? If you only have one spark, you have one chance to get back to your spark, or you're gonna lose the bones that you had on you. That you had.
I have been close to like 1,000 bones, like 10 times, and lost it all.
Oh. So it's like
I am
you're
struggling
your
so
level
hard.
Up, your level up is like at that.
I'm level 2 on like everything.
Okay. I see what's happening, and I know what to like. First things first. Like 1, this game's hard. 2, it is like a Souls game where it's going to be the hardest at the beginning when you're trying to kind of get used to how the game works, right?
I feel like my inexperience with like a lot of retro games. Is shining through.
I
hate
can
the way this game
right
feels.
Now. Yeah. Okay. First of all, what weapon did you pick?
The whip.
Okay. So like the whip is obviously very much inspired by like the Castlevania whip, right?
Right, which is why I picked it.
So, well, the thing about classic Castlevania is if you're just walking towards enemies and whipping them, you're doing it wrong. They're gonna fuck you up.
I'm getting fucked up a lot.
Movement is a big thing in Mina the Hollower, and like burrowing is everything, right? Like that is your dodge.
I burrow everywhere, but just because it's fast,
get very comfortable. Yes, it's fast, and that is like a big part of your movement. It's like your dodge.
The number of times though that I have come out and like flown straight into an enemy.
Yes.
I can't even count them. It's just insane.
So here's the other thing though, right? Like when you attack on the ground, you're rooted in place. But you're not if you jump and attack. you're rooted in place when you attack. So like you can't
Okay,
move and attack at the
I
same
can't
time.
hear you, by the way.
Oh, can you hear me?
So
I can hear.
talk.
We can hear you.
I think it's probably just your
Nick, can
your
you hear us?
headphones.
Nick! Ah! Oh God, Nick! Ah!
My headphones just decided to just
Oh,
turn off
well,
without
they've
any
done that.
sound at all. It was just like
Nick, are you
Brad's
Usually
like,
there's
what?
a
I was like, did Brad's microphone die? And then I realized I couldn't hear anybody.
Nick,
Sorry about that.
the thing about whipping and attacking in a Castlevania game is if you're doing it on the ground, you're doing it wrong because it roots you in place. Like you're stuck in
I
place.
hate that.
So that's why you jump. You attack in the air so you can move while attacking.
That's the other thing. Every time I try to use the whip while jumping, I can't do it. Like I feel like I hit the button too late, and then he's just already back on the ground. I've been trying to get good at that. I'm so bad. Look, I feel like I'm hopeless, man. I feel like I'm hopeless.
Well, so
Yeah,
like
that's
if
the
I would have
attitude.
suggested a starting weapon, it would have been the swords because they're more
Well,
like
it's too late
like
now.
a link. Well, you can
Yeah.
you can get a set of swords just in the world. I know there's the shopkeeper that like sells you the weapons or upgrades your weapons, but you
need
can actually
bones.
just find them in the
Bones are
world.
their
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, it's like a Souls game where you're gonna have to get your feet, and like it starts to snowball. As one, you get more used to the game, and two, you start to get a lot of upgrades and whatnot. You will get it. It'll get
just-
easier.
You
Now,
gotta
the
be
game
that
could-
bell gargoyle, you know? Like
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, more. It's not even like Bell Gargoyle. Honestly, you're like you're at
But
the
like the
asylum demon?
difficulty in like a
Yeah,
Souls
essentially.
game has never been rooted in like the way it feels to move or control the character.
Yeah,
This I
it
feel
is.
like I'm struggling with specifically how to effectively control Mina. I'm just bad at it so far. I'm gonna stick with it
with the
because I
whip.
really want to play this game and like it, and
The whip was
I
probably not for you, probably, but
I know I'm regretting that decision at this point. I feel like I'd be having a much easier time without the whip.
Oh.
But I mean, use the range, right? Like, don't get in the face of enemies. You have a ranged, like your weapon is like, it's the longest range weapon of all the starting weapons. You should be attacking enemies from further away. But
flying enemies are the bane of my existence, man. I have been killed by flying enemies in this game like 1,000 times. Ugh, I'm so bad at this.
It's funny because like I get what you're saying, but like that's all stuff I got over when I played like the demo several times, when it was a demo like last year. So like when I started playing this game, I didn't have that frustration anymore, but I remember what it was like first playing the demo, and it took some getting used to. But like know that there is an incredibly like rich
I know.
brimming with life world out there that if you do get over that hump, there's a lot to enjoy.
I'm gonna do my best to get over the hump because I do want to play and enjoy this game.
I'm like
and I think I
35
can.
hours in, and I've been taking my time and like kind of 100%, like trying to 100% areas. Like I do this thing where I'll beat an area and I'll get like some, I don't know, so like a new something. So I like re-explore old areas or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
but I just got to upgrade that like shows me kind of like, oh, this room has a secret, and oh, you're next to a room with a secret. It's like a really cool HUD upgrade. I'm like, oh man, this would have made all the hunts I've been doing so much easier, but I would never change it for a second because I like doing those hunts for secrets. But yeah.
And to address, so Nuclearado in chat said maybe there's like I'm experiencing a bit of friction like when you first played Tunic, and again I kind of point back to. I mean, I agree it's kind of a similar thing, but again I point to the fact that like Tunic and Dark Souls, the friction that I experienced in those games never had anything to do with like how it felt to control
I think
the
you're
character.
forgetting though, because Dark Souls is like until you get like stamina management down and really understanding how like blocking and dodging works, like it fucks you up. But
it's responsive. Like I never feel like
Dark Souls 1.
It's
Demon
responsive.
Souls?
It's responsive when you learn how to make it responsive.
Yeah. Demon Souls, like it's got a lot of like commitment to attack.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever. Besides the point, like it's fair. You pick the weapon. Like I wish they made it to where you could switch between the 3 starting weapons like from the start, like more easily.
How far do I have to get?
Well, I mean, I think the first time I I got the other weapons, and now I have all the weapons. I've had all the weapons for a long time. But the first time I got another weapon, I did think I bought it from the shop. But maybe not. Like, you can find them in the world, and once you find them in the world, you have the weapon. It's just that each weapon has upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it might be worth finding out where those swords are in the world, because I think it would dramatically change the pace of combat for you.
The other thing that drives me crazy,
Because the swords also push you
retro.
back.
I think this is just a retro thing. You tell me if I'm wrong or not, but like when you fall off a fucking cliff and it sends you back to the beginning of the room instead of like right at the edge of the cliff that you fell off of, that shit drives me crazy.
Really?
Drives me nuts.
I will say there's also like trinkets in the game that will like almost like immediately make the game more like reasonable for someone
I really wish
who's
I knew
struggling.
what a trinket was.
Well,
I feel like I need
it. They're like, you don't have any yet.
I literally, when you go into the save room and you open the box of trinkets, it's empty.
It's funny.
There's nothing
I
in
currently have like 50 trinkets. Like even that full page is not all of them. It scrolls down. There's so many. I will say though, like there's one in that first dungeon that you're about to get to that is like the one you never unequip. It's basically like an extra life. A bring you back
Sweet,
to life
I could
trinket,
really use
but
that.
like
Also,
it changes. It makes it so much easier.
God, the Estus flask thing where it's like a push and pull, like you have to do damage to fill up the Estus flask before you use it, but if you take damage, you lose it. So the number of times I have used an Estus flask that it has almost nothing to actually replenish my health with.
Yeah.
And I'm just essentially wasting the vial.
But Nick, also a very, very, very early game trinket that I'm pretty sure you can like find now maybe or buy is it adds 2 flasks and it makes it to where when you use it, you heal beyond the yellow bar a little bit. Like maybe like an extra like 15%. So you can heal you can heal even if you don't have a yellow bar, essentially. A little bit.
It sounds like trinkets will be a bit of a game changer.
I mean everything.
I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing.
You'll get so much more powerful in that game.
I know. I can already tell I'm going to. I'm just experiencing.
You gotta be patient. Like
I spent 40 minutes on my lunch break today.
It sounds like you're crawling through the game.
I spent 40 minutes playing this game on my lunch break today, and I made it basically the progress that I made was between one save room and the next available save room. Like I made it to the save room.
It sounds like a miracle.
But I had no bones. I lost all the bones. I made nothing. It was.
I am not lying when I said I don't think I've lost my bones once in this game.
I know you're not lying, Brad, but it makes you sound like an asshole when you're bringing
but I got like 4 sparks relatively quickly. I got like 4 sparks relatively quickly.
I have already lost all of my bones at least 10 times.
Damn. That just sounds like a bad stretch.
I mean, again, this also could be a case. I'm comfortable to saying like there's a good chance I might just be really bad at this game, and I'm okay with that.
I think a lot of people are bad at this game specifically when they start.
But I also want to point out to people who are listening to this show, maybe thinking like, "Man, Nick's just a bad gamer." I have also beaten every Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Neo, like fucking Sekiro. I have beaten some hard fucking games in my life. I'm not saying these are what's the 1-to-1 comparison with Mina the Hollower.
It's so funny. Is like way. I do distinctly remember you crashing out about the combat in A Link to the Past, which is so funny to me. It's so funny to me. It's like you're just sloshing your little sword. What's the problem? I think you're not used to games where when you touch the enemy you take damage, which is like a retro thing. It's a retro thing.
I do really, because I have said this many times. I was kind of a late bloomer when it came to games. I didn't even get into games as like a serious hobby until the N64 era. So like anything I played that came out prior to that was like much later in life, kind of when I finally developed a bit of an appreciation for that kind of stuff. So this is probably just my like the years and years that I skipped I didn't get all this retro like stuff ingrained in me at a young age. I had to learn all that shit.
We made you play A Link to the Past in one sitting.
Yeah,
and you had never played it before. Which whatever.
Oh my God,
it's a great fucking game, but like Ganon is really hard at the end of that game.
And that was after like what 16 hours of playing or something, and I was so mad. Oh my God, so mad.
All I had to do was play Alan Wake in one sitting. I'm like, this is easy. This is fine. This is a breeze.
Yeah, it's like an 8-hour game. What are you talking?
Yeah, it's longer than that. But yeah.
Anyways, we can move on. I'm gonna keep going with Mina the Hollower because Lord knows, like, I feel like there's a great game for me. I just got to get over the hump. I got to get over the hump, and I feel like if I stick with it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But enough about that. What else is everybody? What is everybody else playing? Quick update.
So after playing the Onimusha Way of the Sword demo, I decided that now was the time to actually replay Onimusha 2. So I did that.
Great game.
Is that the only one you ever replay though?
I mean, I've played through all three of the good ones.
You're always playing 2.
2 is really good.
I think that
what's
like
the last Onimusha
one is the
game
best
that
one.
You're a 2 girly. Don't fucking lie to me. We know this about you.
No,
you're a 2 girly.
No.
Here's the thing. I would actually normally be in Chris Davis's camp here because I do think 1 is my favorite stylistically.
Me too. No, 3's the best. 3's the best.
3 is.
I miss the days when Onimusha was like trying to be a Resident Evil clone. I miss that so fucking much. But 2 is like where they kind of like it became more of an action game, but like it opened up and it was just more vibrant. I don't know. It like there's stuff.
No,
Onimusha 2 kind of feels like the way
he had a grapple hook and it could play completely differently. It was so cool.
I did like Onimusha 3 as well.
Yeah,
but you're like in fucking the city. Whatever. Hey, I did play that new Onimusha demo. Sorry, we don't need your thoughts on Onimusha 2. We know you like Onimusha 2.
Thank you.
But
yeah, very nice of you.
You've literally talked about it on this podcast before. I think.
No, I have not. I have never talked about Onimusha 2 in this podcast.
That can't
might be
literally
thinking
can't be
of
true.
me.
Literally can't be true,
right?
It can't be true. That's can't. So last week y'all had played the Onimusha demo, but I hadn't. I have since played the Onimusha demo, and I just want to say that it's okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
It didn't blow my socks off. I mean, I have high hopes for the full version of the game. I just think that demo was kind of meh.
Would you agree that the sound design has issues?
Yeah,
I don't think it's the sound. I think it's feedback in general. I think it's a combination of things that make those strikes seem weak.
The only thing
Not
that
just
feels
sound.
good is a strong parry. That's really it.
Yeah, but I mean that's because they put like so much like effort into like the animation and the sound effects and the visual pop of
and
that.
I do want to reiterate that I do think that like part of that is from the fact that like there is going to be a progression of power in that game.
I want it to be hard though. Like it was so easy.
It
was
easy
like you barely sneeze and they were already dead. Like even when I wasn't trying to, like, oh, I'm not even gonna attack this guy. I'm just gonna parry them. They like fly into the wall and like kill themselves, and they're like crumpled on the ground. And I'm like, oh wow.
I don't even know if that boss touched me.
Well, I mean, the boss was the only thing that had a little bit of
I spent most of the boss fight like just trying to learn how to parry him. That's why I kept dying with him.
But
if I would have actually just focused on attacking, I would have had the problem.
But let's be real. Like, it's Capcom. That game is going to come out, and it's probably going to surprise even the naysayers, right? That game's probably going to be pretty good.
I hope so. Like, that would suck. That would suck. They're having such a great year. And we're going to get to another thing that Capcom announced that's coming out this year. We should get to that. Is it got anything? I've been
playing a lot of Bond. Can I just say
I did start
one thing I forgot to mention last week. I'm not sure if Chris Davis mentioned it. I can't remember, but I do want to give a shout out to what I think is actually a really cool mechanic in that game is the license to kill mechanic. How you can't actually, like, in missions where you're trying to be stealthy, you can't pull a weapon until somebody pulls a weapon on you. And as soon as a situation starts to get away from you and someone fires a gun, then it says license to kill granted, and so then you can start using weapons, which I think is actually just a really cool like gamification of something we've been hearing for our entire lives as
that's not,
Bond
it's
has
not
a license
even
to kill kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not even really like an actual mechanic. It's just scenarios where you can actually kill enemies.
I mean,
like,
it's a mechanic in the sense that like there are situations in which you have a gun, you can't pull it. But if you let somebody fire a gun at you, then you can pull it. Like It's a system.
I always thought the whole point of the license to kill was that like he could just kill people and that was fine.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm saying it's kind of it's a game that they've turned
I
it
get
into
what
a
Nick's
mechanic.
saying. It's like a
Yeah.
cool, stylish
Sure.
twist on.
Yeah,
But
it sounds
limiting
after
the
playing
player.
a bunch more of this, and I'm still not done with it. In fact, I'm still probably in the grand scheme of things pretty early in the
Are
game.
you in London yet?
I am in the web's headquarters, the skyscraper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Web. Is it a good game? Should I play it? Is it
Dude,
good?
it's so
You
good.
like
It's
it?
really
Is it
good.
fun?
It's really
It's
good.
really fucking good. I said this last
It's
week,
aight.
and now that I'm like 10 to 12 hours into it, I just want to reiterate it because like I get why Hitman is so great. I wish it had gelled with me more, but the fact that the nature of Bond as a character is much more like he's just reactive. So like if a situation goes sideways, his character, it makes sense that his character would lean into it and just improvise on the spot. So I never feel guilty about like being forced to use combat, like to go into combat and do something sloppily or messily. As opposed to Hitman, where I feel like it was breaking the like power fantasy of like being this like super effective Hitman.
That's so weird. You thought that, like, dude, Hitman is a comedy series. It is not a power fantasy.
I know, and that's the stuff I really appreciate. But like, it's also like,
The
for me, it has always
briefcase?
been about wanting to like get that feeling of being like a really effective, like get in, get out, nobody knew you were there.
Yeah,
Hitman's like
Assassin.
that.
That's just replaying the game over and over
Dude.
and over again and doing it on
But that I
Silent
can't do it that way.
Assassin.
That's the way
Hitman-
I'm trying to play it from the start.
It's like
Hitman-
memorizing the Rube Goldberg and fucking with it, you know?
No, Nick. Hitman is that scene from Team America World Police where it's like really serious and has a lot of gravitas and the boss is like, if you're captured, you may want to kill yourself. Here, take this. And he puts like a rusty hammer on the table. That's Hitman.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel it. Again, it's just one of those things. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I've always grappled with, and I wish I could get past it. I've tried so hard to get past it, but like in Bond, I'm just not having that problem because when a situation goes sideways, it just leads to like a really sick, like hand-to-hand combat scenario or action sequence, and then it tells you like when you've effectively killed the last person who could have like alerted other people or ran off or whatever. It says situation resolved, or I forget what it says exactly, but you know, it tells you like you've effectively calmed the situation back down, and I'm like, this is great.
I
Like,
will
can
say
do
that
this.
I will say that like the only thing I have a problem with the combat is that like the shootouts are less dangerous than the melee combat. You
Less
take 3 hits
dangerous.
with the melee combat, you go to a game over screen.
Yeah,
You get in a
it's-
shootout
yeah.
and like it's like standard
A
cover
normal,
based
normal standard shooter. Yeah, a little strange, but still highly recommend it. I love this game, man, and Patrick Gibson's actually a really great Bond. I like him a lot.
He does a good job.
Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind at all if he was like the new
He's a
live
better
action Bond.
than he is a Dexter.
There's not a bad acting job in this game at all. Q
Yeah,
is great.
it's pretty
M
solid.
is great.
Greenway is great.
Moneypenny. Greenway is
Yeah.
really good.
Love this game. Yeah, it's good, man. Play it. Anyways, shall we get on to the news, the
Yes,
stuff?
let's get on
the-
to it. I
the
got lists here.
announcements?
I got lists.
All
here.
right, Brad's got lists. Let's go.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start. We covered State of Play last week, so we'll kind of start with the Jeff Keighley SGF showcase. They opened with Resident Evil Code Veronica. Hype.
Not Code Veronica,
Oh,
Resident
Resident
Evil
Evil.
Veronica.
Veronica.
Yeah, it's
Which-
the Code Veronica remake. Sorry, called Veronica.
Veronica.
Code
Can I say that that's a worse title? Why did they remove Code Veronica? Is a good name for a Resident Evil game.
Yeah,
Just
I
calling
think
it Resident
like
Evil
they're-
Veronica is like, oh, am I playing as a lady named Veronica? It's just
It
weird.
is kind of a strange.
Are you not?
It seems like making a change
No.
to the title for the sake of it. Like it.
Well,
it
no,
was
they
unnecessary.
actually put out a
Claire
public
Redfield.
statement about why they changed the name, and the reason they
Oh,
gave
okay.
was that they consider this new entry to be as valuable as their numbered remakes, but they didn't want to
I think we've always-
devalue the
we've
overall.
always-
What does that have to do with the word code?
I'm just telling you what they said, man.
There's a sequel to Cuphead in development. Cool, but it was too early to show anything. Alien Isolation 2 was announced, except it was already announced.
It was already announced, but this trailer actually showed off, you know, it looks like there's going to be more like planet level environments, like as opposed to being in a space station, which I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah, you go down to a colony
exciting.
at some point. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Also, the new Fumita Ueda game, which was formerly known as Project Robot, had like a full trailer, and it is now called Gen Atlas. It looks great. Can I say I was watching Eris watch the state of the SGF after the trailer. He's like, does that say genitals? I read it like 3 times.
Oh no. Oh no.
It does kind of look like genitals.
It does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
Let's see.
Funny.
Tupac is in Stranger Than Heaven.
Oh my god, that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Who allowed that? Who's doing that?
The Tupac estate plus Snoop Dogg, which is Tupac would not be okay with this.
So Tupac's filmography is gonna include Stranger in Heaven and Nothing But Trouble.
But what do you? He said Nothing But Trouble.
Yes, him and Digital Underground are in Nothing But Trouble as themselves. They do a performance.
Wait, Nothing But Trouble. What am I thinking of? I'm not thinking of Nothing But Trouble. I'm thinking of
the really weird Dan Aykroyd, John Candy.
No, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of the Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence movie, where like Tim Robbins is having a bad day, and then like Martin Lawrence tries to rob him. What is that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
Like Tupac.
We are going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, sorry.
You keep going.
Yeah. Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I think it was Nothing to Lose.
Yeah, Nothing to Lose.
Azelle in chat says Nothing to Lose.
I don't know if that movie holds up, but
yeah,
Tim Robbins was pretty good in that.
Oh my god, I remember this movie. Okay, anyways.
What else? I'm skipping around. Some of the stuff is obviously not that interesting or not that newsworthy here. I will say The Last Ronin, TMNT, The Last Ronin developed by Platinum Games. Kind of exciting for me because I think Platinum Games proved that they still exist and can make cool video games with Ninja Gaiden last year.
Swear to God, there was already a Last Ronin video game announced. Or was it
The Last Ronin is a thing. It's a thing, right?
No. Like, I know. It's based on. It's a graphic novel.
Yeah. So I think there's been stuff that was like tried to be based on this or was based on this before.
I thought it was a video game. Maybe I'm thinking of the movie that was announced.
Definitely a movie. I thought there was a video game, or I think it was one of those things where like we never heard about it, and then someone was like, "Oh, this studio was working on a Last Ronin game that got canceled. Here's some concept art from it."
But this is Platinum Games, and they make action games that they did make a TMNT game that wasn't great in that era where they were like just doing paycheck games for Activision.
Like random shit.
But the Transformers game was actually pretty cool. The Korra game was like okay, but the TMNT one was kind of rancid. I don't expect that from this. I think this is like a real project for them, and it should be pretty cool.
It has potential.
There's that Gundam game. We watched
Rogue Orbit.
Dude,
come on, it could be cool. It could be really cool.
I mean, every Gundam game can be cool.
It's just they just said Bandai Namco, right? Do we know what team is making that?
I don't know.
No.
Chris Davis, you want to say anything about this Crossfire game? That seems like some Chris Davis slop. Crossfire.
Well, the thing about it is that it's a cover-based shooter, but all the cover work is procedurally generated animation, and it's just like new technology to make use of old game mechanics. I don't know that much about it, other than that, like it shares the name with the old Korean shooter series.
Like is
this related to that game that Remedy worked on?
No,
Crossfire X, the single player campaign. Yes, they made the single player campaign.
No, but that's not this.
It's different.
This is like this
is different. This is not related.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, I don't think they're the same franchise.
So if they're not tied, if it's not tied to some pre-existing IP or whatever, God, why do they have to pick that name? It's so terrible.
It's also
all I can think about is Crossfire. Like
the fucking the debate show on CNN that Tucker Carlson used to be on.
Oh God, that too.
Speaking of which, there's Chud Wars 3 got announced. Chud Wars 3. Y'all see this? Anybody seen this? Heard about this?
No.
Chud Wars 3?
What is Chud Wars
Waiting for the
3?
joke.
You want
to
to see
hit.
the clip of the streamer going like the slow reveal of the title for Guild Wars 3? And she goes,
Oh.
Chud
Chud
Wars?
Wars.
Because the script is like, I don't know. I could see it. It's a really good clip. Someone post the Chud Wars clip so we can see it. What else? Virtual Fighter Crossroads, I think, was one of the cooler things they showed.
We talked about that during trailer talk. Very
RGG's
fucking
making
cool.
it, but they're turning it into like a whole like story.
And the
like,
question I
game.
posed to you during trailer talk, which I think is worth repeating here, is like, do you think Virtua Fighter fans or fighting genre fans are going to see this as like
The
a fighting
FGC?
game?
No. So you have to understand that like they've revealed this game before as just the Virtua Fighter project,
Mhm.
and when they did, it was just two characters fighting, like a fighting game. Like
Right.
that's still in the game. There's just a mode where it's like way more than just a fighting game, which is cool
more like-
because
it seems
those
like
have always
an
been like an
open world.
afterthought.
There's also an RGG
yeah.
game attached to it.
Yeah, which is cool. And like, there's already a lot of like personality and stuff, which Virtua Fighter is kind of, I don't want to say personality less, but like they have their characters and they fight well, and it's a
It's
technical,
pretty dull
highly
on the
respected
tongue.
fighting game. It's like you're not doing long air juggles in a Virtua Fighter game. You know what
Pretty
I'm
dull
saying?
on the tongue, huh?
Not dull, just
Bland.
old school. It's very Virtua Fighter. What else?
There's one you're not mentioning yet, and I'm waiting
Well,
for
no,
it.
it's a long list. No, Nick, tell me about Saw Genesis, your favorite.
Oh, dude, I was actually kind of interested in this until I realized it was a 3-player.
But those
Like,
single player Saw games
multiplayer.
were so bad.
I mean,
I
did
mean,
you
I played
like
them
the
still.
Outlast Trials though?
No, I like the Outlast Trials. It's a cool concept, but I still prefer Outlast 1 and 2 to Outlast
That's fair.
Trials.
A big one for me,
And-
although I didn't get the trailer into the trailer talk. They announced the Monster Hunter Wilds expansion.
Oh, fucking
Monster Hunter Wilds
Ascension or whatever?
Ascendance, which
Ascendance?
is a little
Yeah.
like weird. Like they're doing like Sky Islands or something, which I wanted the opposite. I wanted underwater stuff. I
Very
guess that's not coming
Yeah,
back.
bro.
But you know,
What if it's both?
they showed a couple new monsters or whatever. Seems cool. Kushala's back. What's his face? Big Belly's back. But and they showed like a flying monster that was like, it was kind of like Kuropeko, like was like click click click, and then it like did like a mini Valstrax dive. I don't know, that monster seemed kind of cool, but and like the big new mechanic thing is like the hunter arts are kind of coming back, but they're like all like
That
like
gauntlet
rocket based
thing?
kind of, which
Yeah.
is cool. Like Valstrax has got to be in this game. I'm sure. Anyways, what else we got? It is a long list.
Still
Wolf Among
waiting,
Us 2?
Brad.
Wolf Among Us 2, y'all hyped about that?
I mean, I'm hyped about it in the sense that like I played a little bit of Wolf Among Us 1 and I thought it was really cool, but for some reason I didn't keep going. So I'm like, how excited could I
Oh,
actually be?
well,
I'm not entirely
mean,
sure.
You didn't even finish a Telltale game. That's but you know, some people are excited. People have been waiting for this for a long time because apparently they said this has existed for a long time, and then it's proof. Stellar Blade Blood Rain, is that
There
the
we
one you
go.
want to talk about?
That's
Oh.
the one I'm waiting for. I'm so excited for this.
They could have called it Stellar Fist or something, and it would have been so much cooler.
Stellar Fist.
'Cause you play a punchy lady. She doesn't have a blade.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade, Stellar Fist.
I think this is a case of not trusting the audience to know to make
Stellar
the connection.
Hand.
Oh, they would have known by the asses and the outfits and stuff, bro.
And the
they
word
know-
stellar.
and the character and stuff. Yeah.
It is a new character though.
Yeah, sure. She's deep. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe she's cool.
Hey man,
I
I think
I played like 8 hours of that game.
it
anyways.
was my second favorite game of that year, man. I still highly recommend it.
You
I
don't
think that
ha-
game is
cool.
the game's fire.
I mean, I don't know.
and
Tifa's
it
in
still
Street
has one of my
Fighter.
favorite soundtracks of
Tifa's
the
in
last
Street
like
Fighter.
5 years.
Tifa's in Street Fighter. The Stellar
I-
Blade soundtrack was just the dude trying to do near
No.
again. Whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, Tifa's in Street Fighter. Hype.
Tifa
I
in
find
Street
it a
Fighter
little-
and not Tekken.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish I
frustrating.
wish I got hyped when Tifa appeared and stuff. I don't know. I just can't.
Well, you didn't get fucking hype because Tifa in a Street Fighter game does not seem as hype as if Tifa was in Tekken. which would have been a
that's-
much more amazing like character model with all like
Yeah.
a move list of like 100 different cool moves from like the Final Fantasy series.
All
You know,
kinds of
I mean, have you seen
physics.
Clive in Tekken? Well, like obviously you haven't, Nick, but like I'm saying they go all
You can
out.
tell by my face.
They go all out when they put a guest character in Tekken. Like they do guest characters in like pretty amazing ways. So, and Tifa's a good fit, so people really wanted Tifa. Now Street Fighter is cool and all, but like that character model is not going to be the same. I mean, I don't want to get into details, but like you can like dress up your characters and shit in Tekken, and I don't know, whatever.
So
been
what you're
morbidly
saying is people
entertained-
have been robbed.
We're the robbed. Tekken was robbed. Whatever.
I've been morbidly entertained by the memes going on this past week about like Harada and several recent like high level Tekken developers left in the past year, and everyone's been going, "Oh, it's because Tifa went to Street Fighter instead of them."
No, well,
I don't know if anybody.
it's because Tekken 8's falling apart, but you know.
Anybody
Also,
bitter?
the other characters are like new. I kind of would have liked another returning character. Makoto is like the one I want to see, but whatever.
Where's
whatever,
Vega?
whatever. They ended with Final Fantasy Revelation, which can I say Revelation was like one of the weakest R words they could have gone with.
There's a lot
I mean,
of
they're all
R words that
pretty-
could have been fitting.
They're all pretty rote at this point. They're all pretty passe. Been doing
I
it
mean,
a lot.
so far, like remake is the only one that actually lives up to like the scope of the original game. Like
Also, like, I don't know. They could have just jumped on the bandwagon and called it Final Fantasy Resonant. Oh, wait a second. They already got that.
Sorry,
Yeah?
I just said R word, and then I started thinking of Nomura, and I'm which whatever. I do like how Jeff Keighley was like he caved. He on Twitter he was like before the showcase he was like, "Don't worry, guys, your feedback was heard. It's gonna be a single player game at the end." Like he went on Twitter. It was like before the thing. It was like because he was so crashing out so hard about High Guard, right?
Understandably
was-
so.
I think that was pathetic. I think he should have owned it a little bit more. And honestly, Final Fantasy Revelation is a big game, but like we all knew it was coming, so it's like not that.
Honestly,
hype.
I enjoy these remakes or whatever you want to call them when I'm playing them. In fact, I think they've made my top 10 each time. Like I enjoy these games a lot. I love Final Fantasy 7. I love the nostalgia of whatever.
It looks crazy.
But like I am, and this one is really cool because it's the high wind and it looks like it's fully open world, kind of like classic Final Fantasy 7, and you can like parachute down into any point in the map, which is crazy. But at the same time, I am kind of looking forward to a world in which we're not looking forward to the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Finally, you know what I mean? Because it's been like
yeah, I guess
20
I mean,
years
yeah.
of like just
20 years. I mean,
like people have been
20.
talking about wanting a remake of Final Fantasy 7. Maybe not 20 years, but like
Yeah, well, remake
well
came
over
out in
a
2020.
decade.
We've had 2 games already in 6 years, and the third one comes out. I think we thought this was going to take a lot longer, but once they started coming out, like
I mean,
we had what 2020, 2020.
we were at the Sony press conference where they announced and like showed remake for the first time.
yeah, but
So, like,
it
that-
actually came
which
out
would've
in
been-
2020.
Yeah. But like we've been seeing it, and think about before we even saw it, there was just like years of people saying it's coming, it's gonna
Well,
happen.
they
Like,
wanted it
there
ever
was, like,
since the PS3 teaser, right?
yeah.
But that wasn't real, you know. So
Anyways, all I'm saying is like I'm
there's
looking
other
forward to
stuff-
playing it, but I'm also looking forward to it being over.
I was excited that like Crazy Taxi's back because I feel like Sega announced all of these, old franchises coming back.
Right.
They still didn't show Jet Set Radio, but like Jet Set Radio has been like they've been showing like clips of that or whatever. I don't know. I'm surprised we didn't see Jet Set Radio.
It's also like
but
Altered
Crazy-
Beast.
Are we
and a few
officially
others.
moving past SGF
Alter-
now, right? So now we're
Yeah,
going
I
into-
was gonna move on to Xbox. I mean, there's other small things, lots of other small things, but
Yeah.
we can't dwell all day on Among Us and stuff.
All right.
Oh,
Xbox.
was that? I thought you. Sorry, I thought you
That's-
were about to say something.
No, that was officially the transition. I'm just saying.
Xbox opened with Gears of War E-Day, which I don't know, looks like a Gears game. Who's the Gears head in this house?
I mean,
I like
that would
Gears.
have to be Chris Davis. Although I did
Jaeger.
play, what's the one where you're on like the sand dunes and shit?
That was 5.
I played 5. That was all right. You know, I don't
Is
know.
it,
I've
does
just
this
never
look
had the same
hype? Does this look
reference.
hype? Are we excited about young Marcus Phoenix?
Dude,
I mean,
I
it
will tell you
looks
this: people who
good.
Gears of War fans are like losing their mind over the,
Oh, okay.
the
I guess
young
that's what I
Marcus
care
Phoenix
about.
thing.
They're hype?
But like, they're hype. I mean, it's I'm
Did
not.
the game look good though?
It looks like a gear. Like I mean,
He was
I don't know,
wearing like people clothes though. That looked a little wrong.
I mean, it
Like,
is a
yeah.
he had to wear
prequel.
a shirt.
Like,
The civvies, and there's like normal cars and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
it's
this
like
is
the
the-
whole world is straight out of like the early '80s with all the technology and everything you see, and yet
mean,
you
I
know that like there's
suppose-
super death lasers in the sky.
I
I
was barely paying attention,
suppose
but that's not
the
tight.
exciting thing about this, if I was to point out something that excites me about it, is like I do like the idea of like going back and showing the actual like emergence day, like putting you in the moment when like that shit happens, because you hear about it in all those games and you see flashbacks periodically, but like rooting the game itself in that moment is, I think, is a cool idea. Now, will I play it? Will I care? I don't know.
I mean, it
Have to wait
is
and see.
it's 4-player co-op, and I mean the thing that gets me is that like when they announced this game and they showed off the first like trailer for it, it was like this dark and violent, and they were pitching it like it was gonna be more of a like
Horror
the
game?
original Gears project, where it was kind of a horror game. But this just looks
You've
like
seen
more
that about
Gears.
every single Gears game since Gears 3.
That
You've been
is
saying that.
factually
I hope there's a
incorrect.
horror game. I mean, I'm on the podcast with you, bro. Like,
I mean,
we've been doing
I-
this for a long time, and I've been hearing both of you two over there talking about wanting a
Is it-
Gears horror game.
I mean,
Gears
That would be the
has
way to get me in.
interesting horror potential. That is factually
that
correct.
would really that would actually rope me in, but let's not dwell on it now. Let's move on. We'll see.
Okay.
Is that coming this year?
October
Yes,
6th.
yes, yeah,
Oh yes, October.
October 6th. Fable's not coming out this year. They had a new
Fuck
trailer
yeah, I
with-
scored, man. Woo! I was
pretty
getting
good, got
nervous because
delayed.
I counterpicked that.
But it looks really good.
But yeah, I am bummed because I do really want to play it. So
Halo
February, baby.
Combat Evolves. The you got
Campaign
anything to say about
Evolved.
that?
did we know about this prior to?
Yeah, they
yeah.
announced this earlier
Okay.
this year.
Yeah.
Do y'all
Yeah,
think
this
this
is-
looks good or bad or what's up with that?
I mean,
I don't
it-
know. I've seen a lot of people bitching about the Needler having a ammo counter on it.
I mean, that's
that's
lame.
weird.
That's lame, honestly.
the Needler had an ammo counter in Halo 2. They can shut the fuck up. Like,
I'm also not
Did
sure
it?
how I feel about playing
Did
in
it?
third person.
yes,
Halo
it did.
2 had a ammo
Yes,
counter?
I played so much Halo 2 back in the day.
I will believe Chris Davis on this. One.
I mean, the thing that's big about this remake
I
is
played
that
a
it's
lot of
adding
Halo
3
too.
new levels. So, I mean, everything they're talking about with the campaign remixes and skulls and stuff is really cool. It's really cool to get like the full gamut of like Covenant and Flood enemies to fight this time around. And there's so much customization there that's actually really fun. But the new levels is the big thing.
That space like ship or whatever. There's a part with the spaceship that certainly looked weird.
I love spaceships.
Y'all see that part? Did y'all watch the
No.
fucking trailer?
I didn't watch.
Did y'all
it.
watch the trailer?
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
that
lie,
was-
Brad. This
There's
is
like a
one of the ones I
weird
did
like
not
flat
watch.
spaceship thing, and I'm like, that's not any Halo I know. Resonance of Plague Tale. I don't know. I mean, I guess
Okay,
we-
I don't have much to say about it, but I just want to make it known, as I'm sure Chris Davis does as well. Very excited.
It's that there's a
What
9-minute
is this?
combat video or just gameplay video, and it's got combat, and the combat is a little faster than it probably should be for a lot of the animations, but it looks fun.
And it also is a little strange because, like, I feel like one of the coolest things about A Plague Tale as a franchise is kind of how it is steered clear of like traditional combat.
Yeah. Also,
It
like
looks
it,
cool, but like, is it going to
There's-
lose some of its personality by being more combat focused?
there's also a lot of Uncharted inspiration going on here, because later in the video they do some puzzle-based ancient ruins exploration, and it's the main character. She's pulling out a journal. She's making out notes. You open the journal to get hints as to what you're supposed to do in the puzzle.
I like that.
Like, it is
I like that.
straight Uncharted coded.
What about the rats though? Are the rats there? We're
I
gonna get some
mean,
rats.
the macula stuff is in there. Yes,
Macula?
that's what.
Don't ask, Brad. Don't ask and don't explain, Chris
the
Davis.
lore.
Is he
Next-
is he
next
saying
game.
rats? Is that what that means? Rats are in there?
Brad, don't ask. Don't worry about
Well,
it. Just-
okay, I need to know because you asked are rats in the game and he said the macula is in the
the
game.
macula is a reference to the rats.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Yes.
beyond that, you don't need to know. We don't need to dig into this. I don't want to. I don't want to hear it.
No,
It's
I
just
just
there's
wanted to
lots
know
of
if the
them.
rats were back or not because I've been calling
Yes.
it the rat game.
It is a rat game.
State of Decay 3 re-reveal or something? Did they show much?
They showed
Decay
off
3?
new gameplay.
New
It looks
gameplay?
like
New
State of Decay
gameplay.
three.
We had never
seen-
seen gameplay before.
Yeah,
don't
we've
think
seen
so.
We'd only
seen
seen-
gameplay.
No, we've only seen that trailer with the deer.
No,
See,
we
I
got
think we did
gameplay
another
last
one.
year, buddy. I'm telling you.
Really?
Last year?
Yes.
Persona.
Somebody fact check Chris
4,
Davis on this. Am I crazy? Am I high? I feel like we've been
And they
waiting
also
for
showed it off
gameplay forever.
earlier this year when they announced they were doing the alphas.
Wolong
Okay.
2 got revealed, which was weird.
weird.
Sinnoh. Sinnoh. I didn't expect another
This-
Sinnoh game.
This fast.
Sinnoh Saga, Hellblade.
Yeah.
Hellblade 3 or whatever. Surprising.
I'm one of those. I'm like one of the 10 people
Not
that played.
fast, it's surprising.
Hellblade 2.
Like we just heard rumors that Microsoft was going to shut down a studio, and I immediately started thinking about all these developers that probably take a lot of money but don't make a lot of money, and I'm like, I wonder if Ninja Theory's fucked. I mean, Double Fine most certainly.
For now, I mean, this could very well be a situation where they're going to release Senua, and then all of a sudden, and then they immediately get
I
closed.
don't know. Like Hellblade 2
uh,
was in development for so long that like
Yeah, but like also, I feel like nobody played it, and it was good.
I know. I feel like you're right. I feel like nobody played it, which is why I worry about Ninja Theory. But how did this one
Should-
look compared to the others?
Much more combat oriented.
I'm gonna make you really mad right now, Brad.
Hmm.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, no, trust me, Nick. I know you didn't watch any of this shit.
I don't know what I was smoking, but like, I don't know how I missed a lot of this shit.
You were there
I
for
don't-
like the
what-
entire
what were you
presentation
doing?
up to
Were you
Gears, and
looking
don't
at
remember
something
anything.
that had the trailers? Were you looking at something?
No, I mean, I was not home. I got back to the house and I jumped on the call just in time to see like the last 3 trailers for this
Oh,
Microsoft
well,
thing, and that was
yeah.
it.
I feel like you saw more than that, but
And then I looked at the
Um,
highlights and I saw there was a Senua announcement, and I was like, I should watch that trailer, but I never.
Some
did. I
people
don't
were
know.
hyped about this Magician the Devil's Deal game. Did y'all remember that one?
I remember the name.
Nope.
I
Magician,
remember-
the one with the magicians. Okay,
don't.
Well, whatever. It's fine.
You don't even know
Um,
what it's called.
I said Magician the Devil's Deal from
Oh.
Uppercut Games. This is
That's a pretty dumb
published
name.
by Focus Entertainment.
What a dumb
Magician
name.
the Devil's Deal. Look up the trailer.
I'm
Oh,
just
people
kidding.
were like, that was
Magician,
cool.
the devil's here.
Well, I'm gonna look at a lot of trailers because I know I missed a bunch.
I mean,
which
it
is
didn't
weird,
really
because I
even look
was-
like a real thing. It looked like just a cinematic thing that was posing as gameplay.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
did. Just for the record, I pulled up the E3 recap site on like Monday and was watching a bunch of trailers. How did I miss some of these big things? I don't know.
You might have been in the wrong like portion of the site or whatever. Castlevania Belmont's Curse got dated for October 15th. That's exciting.
Fuck
for me, at least.
yes! I'm
Persona
so
6
excited for that.
was announced, but it was like kind of a nothing reveal.
So what's
was
the like?
new.
It's
Does
green.
it
It's
give
green.
any? Yeah, but
Yeah,
does
no,
it give any like insight into like what
it looks
like,
different.
what the theme is?
It was
It's-
literally a title reveal. The only thing that was in there was like
No,
a
there-
pan of like some very dark gravestones. That was it.
No,
There's
there's
nothing
some
there.
other imagery in there. There's some other imagery in there. It feels like I didn't
So
think
like
it was
you know, Persona
at
5 had like
first.
the whole like
images-
thieves, like they're like thieves kind
yeah,
of
well,
thing.
it was
So,
too
like,
much of a
what's-
tease for that. But like there is some vibey stuff in there. But
Okay.
it's mostly just the logo. You should check it out. And it's green. The color's green, which we knew that.
We already knew that.
A new Spyro game got announced coming out next year.
Yeah,
Toys for
this I
Bob?
had no idea. I had no fucking clue.
Toys
How
for
we feel
Bob is
about
doing
new
it. They
Spyro?
escape the Call of Duty mines. They're free, and the first thing they do is a Spyro game.
Didn't they make like a Crash Bandicoot game?
I think
Who
they
made the
did
Crash
Crash
Bandicoot
4.
game?
Maybe.
Okay, well, so then that makes sense that they're doing this.
Yeah.
What's the reaction though? Like, how is it looking good?
Oh no, they didn't really show much
Oh,
stuff
boo.
about this.
It was
I
cinematic.
feel like,
I
right?
I still have such
Um,
fond memories of Spyro 1, even though it is
But
a baby
but
game.
y'all talk about Spyro like there wasn't like I mean like Spyro games didn't stop coming out. Like they kept making them and they were just bad.
They're
Yeah.
called
Um,
Skylanders.
Well, no, Skylanders is when they started to become kind of at least interesting. There was a lot of
Or
bad.
everything else
One of them,
but Spyro, though.
there's a Spyro game where Elijah Woods is Spyro the Dragon.
Really?
Isn't that one
Yeah,
of the
but
Skylander ones?
But it sucked ass, so
It's
no
like
one
on
talks
PS2,
about
I think.
it. I think
If I ever meet Elijah
Wood,
Wood, I'm gonna have him sign a picture of Spyro the
Really?
Dragon.
Clockwork Revolution they showed, which I think looks cool.
Looks
Yes,
cool.
in
Hope it's not a
Exile.
glitchy mess, but we'll see.
It will.
Is
be,
that coming
But
this
it's
year?
fine. It's fine.
Did we get a
It's
date on
next
that?
year.
No, next year. Next year.
Okay.
Next year.
Honestly, thank God, because it's starting to get crazy.
Then like some Call of Duty shit. They ended with Call of Duty. Why are
They
they
ended
it's
with
2 years?
Call of Duty
2 years in a
again.
row they've ended with Call of Duty. It's such a bad fucking stink, man. Like what?
Yeah.
I
would've
get it.
preferred
Like a lot of
Highguard.
people buy it, but like the people who buy Call of Duty don't give a shit that they're the last game on their stupid fucking showcase.
It's just
No-
here's the thing. I have nothing against the existence of Call of Duty. It has its ups and downs, right? But like when you do these presentation showcases and stuff, like everybody has certain expectations about like what are they going to close with? If you close with Call of Duty every year, nobody's going to give a shit. It's infuriating.
That's true.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Persona 4 remake trailer? They showed a lot of that.
It looks like
Anybody
Persona
watch that?
4.
No, it didn't, but whatever.
Is it like a
Persona,
remake,
Persona 4 is a
remake?
fucking PS2 game, bro. It didn't look like a PS2 game. Yeah, it's a remake. Like Persona 3. You played that, Nick.
I know. I
Okay.
know.
All right, let's move on to Nintendo.
there was-
I don't know.
Nintendo.
There was.
Oh wait.
Okay.
There was other little things. I've been skipping a lot. Yes.
Well, Chris
Okay,
Davis,
fine.
what something
No,
clearly
no.
on your mind?
Tell me what's.
I mean, I
blowing your
wanted to
skirt up.
mention the
If it's what I got,
expansion
if it's
to
Doom,
Doom
if
the
it's
Dark
Doom.
Ages. That is all about a fucking spear that you get now. That is really cool.
Yeah,
You are one of the 10 people who played the Dark Ages.
that's
I know. I'm
that's
being
mean.
12. There was 12.
I am being mean. I'm being spicy tonight. I don't
think
know why.
Yeah.
There are
don't know.
dozens of us. Okay.
I think we're just
Dozens.
kind of we're getting kind of sick of Doom. Maybe I don't know. Kind of like Wolfenstein. I know you love it, but like we kind of want the dev to make something new, and you know the Wolfenstein dev did, and that was cool. Let's let id make something new now, please.
I agree.
Let's move on to Nintendo. Just the big things. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen got announced, which is exciting because I was worried we were living in a world where Dragon's Dogma was dead completely and that we would never get an expansion. Because the truth is, Dragon's Dogma, it feels like a game that needs an expansion, right? Like the first one was like that, and the sequel was probably like that a little bit. And I don't know, it's cool. They're doing
Yeah,
like big, huge title updates like leading up to the launch, like starting already.
Yeah, one
as
already
far as
came
like
out.
quality of life and like balancing and stuff, and even performance stuff.
I might have to go
So-
dip my toes back into the original. Just like
That might be
back
hard.
up.
Like to start in the middle of a Dragon's Dogma game sounds wild.
well, is that not what it's going to be like if I just boot up straight into Dark Arisen? Or maybe
Yeah,
they're
no,
gonna
I'm pretty
treat-
sure you have to
Probably.
finish the game to do Dark
I
Arisen
already finished
stuff.
the game. I already
You
finished the game.
finished Dragon's Dogma
I
2?
finished Dragon's Dogma 2.
Multiple
Fuck
times?
yeah. No.
Oh, you
Oh wait.
finished Dragon's Dogma 2?
Yes.
Did
yes,
you?
I did. Yes.
You rolled credits?
I did both endings. I did get credit. Yes.
Wait, so you did the post-apocalyptic?
Yes, I did the
okay.
post-apocalyptic shit.
I had no idea you did. Oh, that's cool. It's exciting. I'm excited. It's coming out in what, October? Like that's crazy.
Another
Or
October
September?
game. Yeah.
Yeah, October.
October is
That's
crazy
wild.
already.
They showed stuff here and there. They showed Stellar Blade here. That's funny. Stuff is coming. Like here's the big Switch 2
A
thing.
lot of ports.
But like a lot of ports, yeah. But like the stuff that is current gen is coming to Switch 2. Switch 2 is like just powerful enough to where like you know, like people really praise the Pragmata version of, or the Switch 2 version of Pragmata, and like that's kind of cool. That like it feels like it's a little bit closer.
It's never
like-
been that way with Nintendo. It's kind of nice.
It hasn't. Well,
They-
it has, but not since the GameCube era.
Yeah.
They also like they opened the show with the one Switch 2 game. Like everything else was Switch 2 dedicated.
Yeah.
Wait, which
Rhythm
one
Heaven
was the
Groove.
Switch 1, Switch 2?
Rhythm
I'll
Heaven
have to
Groove,
remember.
which I think looks really awesome.
Wait, sorry,
Um,
Brad. Which one? What'd you say? Which?
Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think Big Walk got a day. Big Walk looks cool. Um, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave got its date. It's September, of course, like everything else. I
That's
think
not.
looks
That's gonna slip. That must
slip.
Right?
Fire Emblem slips? No,
I don't
that's
know.
not the
It's
kind of
just-
game
God,
that
I can't
slips.
There's
Nintendo, don't bet on Nintendo for delays.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe I should. It's
I
gonna
wouldn't
have to be
bet
the
on
non-Nintendo
Japanese
stuff.
games for delay. If you're looking for games to delay, it's probably going to be like some Western dev that's like, bloated game, whatever.
Somebody's eventually gonna have to say, guys, we got to stop avoiding November. We can't get to November and just have one game come out.
There's 3 games
The
coming out
question
in
is-
November.
All right, what else? Ninjala 2, y'all excited? There's some DK challenge thing. I don't know. That seemed kind of wild. Chris Davis really wanted to talk about Muramasa.
Hey,
I mean,
I
I
think it's worth mentioning too, just because
Yeah,
that's
but
like
I mean,
my personal favorite Vanillaware game
But it's like
as well.
You've played others?
it's
I mean, that's a legitimate question.
it's a expanded remake of
I think Muramasa is fine, but
it's
What are you talking
expanded remake of that Wii game that is also coming to PC. Hell has frozen over a Vanillaware game on PC. Like that should
I
not
guess
be
that's
happening.
true. That's true. They never release on PC. But
They never
Muramasa
do.
was already like I mean, there was that version on Vita. I don't know. It's like whatever. It's just Muramasa again. A new Xenoblade game got announced. Xenoblade Genesis. It's set for next year. The trailer looks
Y'all
pretty
were pretty.
cool.
I mean, this was a big deal, right? This is.
No, I think it looks good.
We're
I
big
mean, I
Xenoblade
like
fans
these
here,
games. I like Monolith Soft. I don't always gel with every decision in the Xenoblade games. I think the combat's always kind of crappy or whatever. And X is my secret favorite, and they're never going to go back to that for some reason. So
X is your
whatever.
secret favorite.
No, it's not. Okay,
We all know.
No. Sorry, it's
It's not a secret.
it's my clear favorite. I'm very loud about that being my favorite, but it is the secret best game in that series, even though no one talks about it like it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. There's like a new RuneScape game. There's a new what is that? What is this RuneScape Dragon Wilds? This was
Guild
on
Wars
another
3.
showcase as well. Guild Wars 3 is back. MMOs are back, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Apparently,
Final
And
Fantasy Resonance
Final
was, I
Fantasy
think, kind of a big
14.
one. Final Fantasy Resonance, it's an HD 2D Final Fantasy game, but it is also secretly a remake of like a redo of a game that started on mobile called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, I think. But kind of like where they took that mobile Octopath game and turned it into like a real Octopath game with Octopath Zero. They're doing that with this as well, but from what I understand, like even more so. Like if you look up at like footage of that mobile game, Brave Exvius, it really is nothing like this.
Is
in a lot
this
of
like
ways.
a crossover game?
Well, so there are summons that are like Cloud Strife is a summon
Yeah.
and stuff, but like that's giving mobile, right? Like all the mobile games do shit like that. So it's a little weird to see them in this now that it's not like some gotcha game. But with that said, I don't know. This could be cool. There was a preview embargo. People played it, I think, at SGF, and like they seem pretty positive. So I don't know. I think it's one to watch for sure. That comes also out in October or September, one of those months. Definitely not November. Basically, I didn't see any game at any of these showcases with a November date, which is funny.
again, nobody wants to
Yeah.
touch November with a 10-foot pole.
But
The
that's
only-
so funny because like I haven't seen that month at all.
The only
of these-
games that are willing to challenge GTA for the throne are Barbie and Godzilla, and that's it.
But here's the thing:
Not real.
nobody's actually would go into November thinking that they have any chance of toppling GTA 6. It's not
No,
about
it's not
that.
about
It's just about
toppling.
showing. It's just about showing you're unafraid.
No, but it's sending your game to die. It's sending your game to die. Like you remember the gap, right? And like the like how many copies GTA 5 sold versus the next
Yes, I
game?
remember the gap.
Like,
But like that's going to be
200
true
million?
one way or the other.
We also remember
There
what
are a
happened to
lot of-
Alan Wake.
There are a lot of people out there who don't give a shit about GTA 6.
Mhm.
There's not. I wouldn't
There's-
say a lot.
there's a-
I'd say most people who are plugged into the world of
There's
video
7 billion
games-
people in the world, Brad.
Yeah, and they're not all playing video games. But,
That's
but
true.
of the ones that regularly play
At least a
video
billion
games-
of them are, right? Right? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't.
yeah.
I actually pulled that number out.
I mean,
of my
are we
ass.
counting
Anyways.
like phone games? Yeah.
A billion
Um,
is like the entire population of India.
Yeah.
That checks out.
They have phones. They're playing Diablo. Sorry, I don't know what that means.
Jesus.
Y'all have phones.
Don't y'all have cell phones?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I just
hope-
just
I
assume
hope that guy had a good day today.
New Dragon Quest Monsters games, Splatoon Raiders. What are we talking about here?
Duskbloods.
Duskbloods. Oh, Duskbloods is worth mentioning because they showed nothing. There was like the trailer
not a
was
real
nothing. The trailer was nothing. They did not have a date or anything. They just said this summer there's going to be a private beta, and I'm like, that's not giving a game that's going to make it this year. I think most Japanese developers, publishers, once they announce a date, like I really do trust that they're probably going to stick to that. But FromSoft with no date, I don't know. I don't think they're going to make it, y'all.
Yeah. That's weird.
They finally show Kingdom Hearts 4 again, which is a little weird for it to be associated with Nintendo.
It is.
But
It is strange. It is
But
strange.
and they
looks-
also kind of showed not enough. Like they didn't show any Disney, which is
They
not
keep showing
unusual,
the same
but they didn't
stuff.
even show like all the Kingdom Hearts characters that people want to see and stuff. Like they did.
You can
They
you
just
can
showed
count
some
the
like,
amount of
combat.
Disney stuff in there by the frames because like it's
But-
just like 1 second of Donald and Goofy and that's it.
But I mean, like,
Does
also
not
beyond
count as Disney stuff in Kingdom Hearts. They're just core characters. But
beyond that, though, like for a series that's like the appeal of the series is largely like going to all these different worlds and different places. Like
nah,
they
it's
keep
not
showing,
right.
they
Nick.
keep showing the same like cityscape. Like I don't know. It's just
No, it seems like a trailer that they would have shown at the reveal of the game, not
yes.
years later when people have been waiting. Also, that is not the appeal of the series. You are not in touch with the fandom, and that's fine.
Well, I don't give a shit about the fandom, right? I mean, like,
No,
wait, is
I
the
know,
appeal
but,
not
but
going
like,
to the
but like,
different
do you-
worlds?
but like when I say that like this trailer is disappointing, it's only because they didn't show like Sora kissing Riku or whatever. But I'm saying like that's what the fandom wants to see, not like what
I hate-
worlds they're going
I
to.
fucking hate.
Like,
I
No, I'm being completely serious. The
I
very
know
very
you're being
passionate
serious.
fandom, like 90% of the people who truly care about Kingdom Hearts, which is not you, Nick. You're very casual, and that's fine. They
Guys, I mean,
that's
yeah,
fine.
you're right.
That's fine. I mean, like you're not even close to
Y'all
someone
guilted me
passionate.
out of even touching Kingdom Hearts 3,
out of a joke.
even though I
That was
own
a
it.
joke.
It's on my shelf.
You don't. You got to get that on a tattoo or something. It's on my shelf.
Maybe I'm wrong. That's not a
tramp
bad
stamp.
idea.
It's, it is a compliment, Nick.
They also announced another round of ports for the Kingdom Hearts games coming to PS5 and Switch 2, and the key art was made with AI.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, yeah,
Fuck.
sure.
Why?
Yeah, video games are terrible.
You've
This is
got
why we
Disney
should-
money.
This is why you can't give up on Mina the
Yeah,
Hollower.
and,
Nick.
you
It's the
know,
last
the-
video
Disney's
game
like-
made, honestly.
The bigger the company, the more inclined they are to try and save
they're
money
super-
unnecessarily.
They're
Absolutely.
all super invested in AI because it's the only thing propping up the
But, like,
economy right
Why
now.
not just use old fucking key art? Like this is a series that's go back 25 fucking
I don't think
years.
I don't think you heard what I just said.
Yeah.
They need to be
I
able
heard-
to tell investors, dude. Like one of the old companies I work for, Accenture, nowadays the main metric by which they judge employees is how much AI they implement into their workflow. Not how much work they do, not how much like value they generate for the company. It's how much they use AI.
That is
And like
gonna
the
come
more
back
the
and
better is what you're
bite them in
saying?
the
Yes. They
Oh
keep
god, that makes me
people-
want to throw up.
They keep people who use AI a lot. They get rid of people who do not. Like
Oh, I'd be out of there
It's
so
all
fast.
Asha Sharma talks about. Like, it's all of these companies. It's horrifying. Like, no one's.
Okay, this is getting
they're
depressing
trying
really
so
fast.
hard to
Oh,
keep AI a thing because like again the chip sale to like AI to data center pipeline is like the only part of the economy that's like quote unquote growing.
My kids' pediatrician uses well, like, okay. It was very weird. But like I take my kid to the doctor and the doctor's like, "Oh, y'all don't mind if I use some AI, right?" And I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" It's like she pulls out her phone to like record the conversation, but I'm like, "Why is she calling that AI?" I mean, it probably is like some AI going, but I think she doesn't understand something that her phone's doing
Dude,
or her recorder's doing. But she calls it
But
AI,
she's
and I'm
not like
scared.
recording it into AI, and then when you guys leave, being like, "Okay, what's the diagnosis here?"
No, I think it might be like maybe a transcriber or something.
Yeah,
It's possible, but
transcription. Yeah.
yeah.
we went,
But
when we
like
had
the weird
to,
that she just calls it AI. Y'all don't mind if I use a little AI here, right? And I'm
You
like,
mind if I
"What?"
talk to chat real quick?
when we had to take Taco to
it.
the vet hospital and they took us into a room, there was a sign on the wall that said, all sessions with the doctor in this room are recorded and transcribed via AI.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that
So
essentially.
it's like, but it's like,
Yeah.
where the fuck is where's the microphone? Like you can't see it, but it's like if you're in this room, you're being recorded, and we are going to
Yeah.
transcribe it with AI. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It felt weird when I, because it was my kid's pediatrician, but whatever.
Speaking of things that felt weird, they spent like 27 minutes on Switch Sports Resort, and like, why? No,
27
it
minutes.
fucking
can't
felt
be
like
right.
it.
What are you talking about? You're talking why? Just last week we mentioned that Wii Sports was like the 5th best-selling video game of all time or
Yes.
something. And you're wondering why Nintendo's spending time on talking about Switch Sports?
I mean, it's the
answer
fact
should
that
be
they spent
obvious.
like 7 minutes focusing on a live play of thumb wrestling. And I'm like,
The thumb
buddy.
wrestling did look horrifying, and it looked really out of place. Like this
Yeah.
was a 1-2 switch mini game that they really wanted to like not kill off from like a sequel or something. So they threw it in Switch Sports because everything else just looked like Switch Sports Resort or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or Wii Sports Resort. And then there was thumb wrestling, and I'm like, it really does feel like maybe this was like maybe part of that welcome tour, or maybe they were making some like fucked up sequel to Arms or something called Thumbs, and they just want to salvage
It's
some
just
of it.
getting weirder
Like,
and weirder.
It seems salvaged from a separate thing
yeah.
and placed into this Switch Sports game. It's kind of weird. It's also depressing to see like the jet ski stuff again, because it's like, just make a wave race game. Like it's not going to sell numbers, but like it would make some people so happy. Same thing with like F-Zero, right? Like just come on, Nintendo.
Maybe some Pilot Wing stuff, you know?
All right, that's the thing. Pilot Wing stuff is also in this Switch Sports, like just like the wave race stuff. It's like this is what you get now. All right, well they ended with Ocarina of Time, the remake, which we do because it leaked, right? But the shocking part is they showed so little when I expected this to be a bit of a blowout. Now, obviously, they're probably just going to do some Ocarina Direct soon, right? And then in the next couple of months, and just show us what the game was
That
all
would be
about.
a fair
But
assumption, yes.
at the end of the trailer, which was like nothing, it was like a very tiny cinematic with like Child Link laying in his bed or whatever. It said 2026. They didn't give a month or a date or anything. They just said 2026.
It's going to be December.
I think
Most
it has a lot.
definitely.
I think it could be November. I think it has a lot to do with the launch of the more expensive Switch. And because I think they might try to do a bundle, and I think they really don't know when that date is.
It's going to be a little bit of a.
They're probably waiting
here.
on some real crazy stuff in the world with the economy and whatnot.
As far as we know, the game may
actually
actually already be finished.
I mean,
Nintendo does that.
is.
So. But the frustrating part is like the one thing I expected to see in this is for us to at least know the scope of it, right? Is it going to be more like Star Fox, which is 1-to-1, or is it going to be more like a whole reimagining? What do y'all get from this trailer?
I think it's going to be a reimagining.
I think
but
reimagining,
yeah. But you don't. So like Breath of the Wild, because
no, I mean,
you get nothing from this trailer.
I would say take the scale of the original Ocarina and make it like 2 to 3 times bigger in terms of like
I feel like it's
geometry.
I feel like
how? Bigger like what?
Look. I think
Like
they're turning Ocarina.
The roof is higher.
I think the
dungeons?
closest
Hyrule Field
thing I would bet that this game ends up looking and feeling a lot closer to like Twilight Princess in terms of size and scope.
But what does
Ocarina
that
of
mean?
Time
Like you're saying that it's still going to be like a traditional Zelda game.
Yes, I think so. I mean, look, I think this is one of those I mean, it's highly anticipated remake. It's one of the most cherished games of all time. I don't think they know they can't deviate from it too far and make it some like completely different thing. And I don't think they
But-
want to like. I don't think they want to turn it into Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess, and Tears of the Kingdom, they exist. Like I don't think we need to turn Ocarina of Time into that. But like,
but like the framework for like the world and how
scope of the
Link
world-
interacts with the world and the elements.
the scope of the
interact with each
world on
other.
the N64 was so small by today's standards.
Yeah.
I think they're just going. It's going
But-
to feel bigger, but it's going to largely be the same kind of experience with obvious.
Are they going to
changes.
redesign the dungeons from the ground up?
Probably.
I mean, I think that's probably a safe.
I mean,
And-
you
and what are
know
those
they're going to
puzzles like?
bow
Are
to
you going to be
pressure and say
slowly
that.
pushing blocks, or are you going to be doing lifting it up with
Look.
your fucking ultra hand and shit?
I mean,
I don't.
I wouldn't
think they're gonna
expect
do
a
that.
lot of that to happen, but they are going to do things like they will completely redesign the water temple, things like that. They
What
will.
does that mean, though?
I think
Like,
they're
it
going to
won't
take
be that.
puzzles from the dungeons and say like, we need this puzzle, but you can change the way it looks. Like you can put it in a different spot, you can make it look different, but the puzzle and the solution to the puzzle is the same. Like you'll recognize, oh, this puzzle was from the original, but this room looks totally different, or this dungeon as a whole looks totally different, even though I know I'm in the forest temple or whatever. It's just, I don't know. Look,
We've
you're also
also
asking us to
learned
like
that
make
the-
assumptions
that the
based off of something
developer-
that had
Well-
nothing to show, really, other than like
They
one
had
shot.
nothing to show. To me, like if it is like Star Fox, where
I don't think it's like Star Fox,
but why not?
because the
The only proof we
Ocarina of
have
Time
is
by
Star
today's
Fox.
standards is such a small game by today's
I
standards.
mean, Star Fox
Zelda-
is far smaller, and they're doing that.
yes, but Star Fox is fucking Star Fox. No one gives a shit. Just
So
like,
this,
Ocarina of
so,
Time-
okay, this is not based
I
in
don't-
reality.
No,
I
Brad,
don't
nothing is
know.
based in reality. We're talking about a game that
No,
they
but
showed
Star
like a
Fox
30-second
exists.
trailer of.
Star Fox exists though, and like they have like they just did it. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know
That's
what you
also
want
an
me to tell
N64
you.
game. It's also an
You-
N64 game.
You keep
I'm
asking
saying,
me,
like-
and I keep telling you what I think, and then you tell me that you don't like my answer. Like I
No,
just
no,
don't know what you want me to say.
It's not that you're. It's not. It's how incredulous you're being.
What?
Like what I'm saying is like it's you seem like it couldn't possibly be like Star Fox.
You know, that's what we
But, like-
do here, right? Is we look at things and we make.
No, but I'm saying like
like-
how is that not realistic for a 64 game when they're just doing it? Because like Ocarina is loved, right? A very pretty version of Ocarina is still gonna make people happy, right?
But like when you look at Ocarina of Time and you set it next to like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild have shifted the expectations for what a Zelda game is at this point in terms of scope.
Yeah, but Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword are not that either, right? Like expectations are way beyond that. Like I'm saying, like I think this has to
I
be a
think
complete
Twilight Princess is
reimagining.
even quite a bit larger than Ocarina of Time. Like it feels bigger than Ocarina of
I
Time.
mean, like if we're making comparisons, Twilight Princess is much closer to like an Ocarina of Time than it is to a Breath
Closer,
of the
yes.
Wild.
I'm not.
I,
but
I-
look,
I think I think it's more realistic for them to rebuild the world of Ocarina with like more functionally how Link interacts with the world in like a Breath of the Wild than to
Dude,
try
I
to
think
like cobble together like a classic Zelda game out of pieces of like slightly later classic Zelda
what
games.
I'm saying,
I think that's
is that
harder to pull off.
if you rebuild the like Hyrule Field and the world of Ocarina of Time in a 1-to-1 situation by today's standards, the world is going to feel incredibly small and claustrophobic.
I agree. And multiplying that times 3, like Twilight Princess, does not solve that problem. It doesn't make it feel like a modern
think it does.
game. It's just going to
Okay.
feel even emptier.
Okay, we're going in
don't-
circles. I don't want to. This
do you
conversation is
feel
pointless
like-
right now.
Do you feel
But
like
that's
that
the
Nintendo
topic.
thinks that the game is like maybe too sacred to like alter that much?
I
I
believe
think
so.
that's true.
I mean, they felt
yeah.
that way about Star Fox.
I mean,
I don't think the Star Fox remake is coming from the same. Like, I don't think that like Revelry for Star Fox 64 is the same as it is for Ocarina of Time. Like, I think they did it with
But it
Star
doesn't
Fox
have
because
to
that was the
be-
easy option.
you don't think that was reverence? You think that was just...
I think I think that was cheap. I mean,
No,
I think that was
they're
like
doing this
like an
with
easy way to
64
bring
because that's the only truly loved Star Fox game.
like Star Fox to be relevant needed to like play on the nostalgia. Like it needed to like they're like let's just remake that.
But
Let's
it
like
is a
one-to-one remake of that game that
of a
everybody
love.
loved.
But that's what
but
Ocarina is.
It
But
is
like, I'm so mad right now.
Star Fox is a outsourced remake of a game that was already a much smaller scale. There's never been a Star Fox game that has really expanded in scale beyond what it has always been. With
That's
Every
not
time they
fucking
try to do
true,
something
dude.
with Star
That's not
Fox-
fucking true. Star Fox has changed a lot from entry to entry.
But every time they try to do something other than Star Fox 64, it fails. Like nobody like it's
I
people
semi
don't like
agree
it.
with that. I semi agree with that.
Yeah,
But like,
mean,
but
like-
like, I don't think that they like. But how? Why do we know that? Like,
we don't know anything, Brad. Let's just get that out. Like we don't
No,
know anything.
okay, so I want to be clear that like Ocarina's loved, right? But like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are like astronomically more successful than any old Zelda game.
Sure.
Like,
and of course there's going to be
orders of
lessons
magnitude-
and things pulled from those games to like
But what I'm saying is
influence
like to say that Ocarina is so sacred that you can't, or what are you saying? Like
I'm not saying I'm look
like a very pretty version of Ocarina of Time that plays really nice, like what Star Fox is like a pretty satisfying thing. And Chris Davis is saying,
All
"Oh,
right,
well,
let's
they
leave it at that then.
outsourced the remake for Star Fox, but why would they not? I mean, who's to say they're not doing the same thing with
Look,
Ocarina?
you clearly aren't going to let this go until I agree with you and say that that's a possibility, and that's fine. Let's just move on.
But like, it is a possibility, right?
Yes, of course, anything's a possibility. We don't
Okay.
know anything about this fucking game at this point.
Of course,
All
it
we're
depends. It
doing is-
depends.
All we're doing is spitballing here based on the very, very, very little we've seen and what we know about Nintendo and their strategies in the past.
Okay,
I'm just-
but
this
that's
is
the thing.
just- I'm
That's the
just
thing.
saying-
I kind of agree with you. I just think if they're gonna do that, they have to go more like Breath of the Wild, and I think that's like more likely and more exciting.
Okay, sure. I mean, I'm not,
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
I don't think that's realistic, but I think that's good.
That's not
all I'm saying is
Oh, I get it. I
Whoa.
thought you guys were on opposite sides of this whole thing.
No, we're on the
are.
same side. No, we're
Look,
not on opposite
you just
sides.
look. You just kept saying that like you don't like. I don't think this is going to be a one-to-one remake of Ocarina of Time the way that
No.
Star Fox 64 is a one.
You think it's going to be more Breath of the
Okay,
Wild,
okay,
like reinvention makeover?
I think
What I'm
it's going to
saying
be
is-
somewhere between
is-
Twilight
is-
Princess and Breath of the Wild.
And what I'm saying is that feels like the least likely to me. I feel like you have
Great.
1-to-1 that's pretty. You have Breath of the Wild like reimagining like world interactivity, and those are both more likely than slightly modified version of a classic Zelda game that's like a rebuilt new classic Zelda game.
Maybe I'm
but
just
bigger.
having a really hard time conveying
that seems
what
the
I'm
hardest
picturing
to
in my
pull
head.
off. The one
I'm-
you have seems hardest to pull off. is what
I'm
I'm
Okay, fine.
thinking
Weirdly
it's going to
enough.
be
Let's move
a
on.
live service game.
There's no move
Fuck
on.
off.
That is the last thing. It's literally the last thing.
That's
and maybe
literally the end of
biggest
the
thing,
show.
so-
This is
Yeah.
the end. We've
No.
reached the end of this podcast.
This is-
That's why I wasn't trying to move on because that's just the end.
You're like,
And it's
how
also
long can I
like the
keep this
biggest
podcast
topic
going?
for us,
No,
right?
you're right.
Our
This is-
podcast started with Twilight Princess.
We're literally
literally the
talking
first
about
episode.
a remake of one of my favorite games of all time. So
Oh,
I'm open
Nick,
to
you're
any
big-
and all.
you're-
Oh,
a
really?
big,
You really like
Ocarina of
Ocarina?
Time fan?
I'm a Star Fox 64 guy.
I'm just saying, of course I want to talk about this. I want to have these conversations. But I know just as much as you know about it. And I'm just looking at what I have in front of me, and this is
I
what
know, but like this part of the conversation before we know is also like interesting and exciting and valuable.
Of course.
So like entertaining for viewers, you know. It is fun to like is to speculate and anticipate and argue. This is good stuff.
Right. I'm speculating that this
But
is not a
you see what I'm
one-to-one
saying
remake.
now about how I think these two are more likely than what your dream is.
I see what you're saying. I don't agree with you, but that's okay.
I think
You can
anybody who thinks this is going to be anything other than a complete visual rebuild of the game is lying to themselves.
Okay.
See, I don't agree with that either.
I don't agree with that.
because again, I just think modern expectations for what like
I mean, like what Star Fox
the
is
scope of
what
a
I'm saying.
world is. If you just do a 1-to-1 remake of it, like it's different with Star Fox because Star Fox is on rails. This is a game where you can like go anywhere and explore everything, right? Like,
Well, really,
And
when
so
you think
much
about
other
it, all
stuff.
games are on rails.
and at the
There's
time,
never been an all range mode, apparently. Yeah.
at the time in 1998, the world of Ocarina of Time felt large. Today,
Yeah,
it would feel
I agree.
fucking tiny.
On its
And
64
if you go
bit
from
system.
Ocarina does hold up. I will say
Of
that.
course it holds up.
Yeah.
Of course it holds up. But like, it's like if you're going to remake it,
Dude, what if they do something crazy like a rogue like that one fucking DLC they did for Breath of the Wild where
what
it
if
was
they
just...
made it a survival horror? Like,
Yeah! With Redead and Octobulls.
Bognoise brings up a good point. They did remake
Blockables.
Link's Awakening and sell
yes,
it
but
as
that
like a
was
full price
also
game.
They did.
they did,
are-
they
you
did,
are-
but like,
But most kids don't remember that game.
Most kids don't remember Ocarina, man.
Oh,
Most
shut
kids,
the fuck
Zelda
up.
is
Shut
no,
the fuck up. You can't
no,
do
fuck
that.
you old man. To most kids, Zelda is Breath of the Wild.
No, it's classic.
No.
That's not. No.
That's
Come
fucking
on,
true, dude.
Stop it.
Breath of the Wild sold more than all the other Zelda games before it came
Stop
out.
newsflash, we're
it.
old. We're old. All right,
That's
Guys,
not true.
let's
That's
wrap this up. I'm
impossible.
going to, just keeping in mind that we touched on like a lot of the stuff from like the major showcases, but there were a metric fuck ton of indie showcases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to the Games Recaps website in the show notes. If you haven't been there, it's what they used to do, E3 recap. Now it's Games Recap because E3 doesn't exist anymore. But it has literally every trailer organized by showcase with the release dates and all the relevant information and links to the trailers. It's a very helpful resource. So I'm going to put the link to that in the show notes. If you want to see all the other crazy shit that was announced, go there. We will be back next week to do a regular show, if you will. I imagine. What is there any other games coming out this month? Anything new?
There's
I
I mean, there's
plenty.
stuff.
I feel like
Plenty.
calm before the storm. I don't fucking know.
There's plenty.
Anyways,
Cyclops comes out tomorrow in Marvel Rivals.
Fuck yeah, let's talk about it next week. Bring some footage. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to us argue about Zelda and shit. We'll be back next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/4Player Podcast. In the meantime, of course, you can find all of our episodes on 4playernetwork.com, and you can find us every day hanging out in our Discord at discord.gg/4player. In the meantime, be good to each other, play video games, and
The Adventures of Elliot. The Adventures of Elliot's coming out.
Yep.
Which one is that?
HG2D.
2D, bro.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Bye.